Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I'm so happy to meet you. If not, then welcome back. As always, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like the sound of it. Turn on your notifications bell and you will get notified each time I have a new upload. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a few different things that have been said recently in regards to autism and neurodivergency in general. Things that have been said by people who would be considered celebs or people in the public eye or politicians. I want to cover this because I think that the things that have been said are extremely harmful to the autistic and neurodivergent community. And I also feel that it's spreading misinformation essentially. So I'm going to get straight into that today. I do have a sheet of paper here with some quotes written out because I didn't want to misquote anything. So the first person I'm going to talk about, and I'm not going to name names, but a lot of people probably know who I'm referring to. So this was a TD in the Dáil, and I'll just get into the quote and then we'll unpack it. So this politician said, "There must be a need for understanding the explosion of autism." The explosion of autism. So first of all, explosion is this extremely negative word anyway. And second of all, I assume that he's trying to say that there's more people diagnosed. That's not actually a bad thing. That's a good thing because it shows that more people are getting assessed that really need that diagnosis. And we know that there is a greater understanding of autism, and that is partly why there are more diagnoses, because we're not looking at just the stereotypical view of autism, we're looking outside of that, particularly with girls, for example. He went on to say his brother, who was a paediatrician in Africa in the 1990s, was very concerned that something was causing autism. So first of all, what I'll say there is a lot more known than it would have been in the 1990s. And also, we know that autistic people, we just have a different brain. There's nothing causing autism. And this, I think, is feeding into, these beliefs that would have been around that, vaccines cause autism, things in the environment can cause autism. And that's adding into those false narratives. And that's really, really dangerous when you see someone who is in the public eye sharing this information. Now, this is another thing he said, because when I was going to school, we did not see these issues. There was some issues, but nothing like the amount there are now. So first of all, basically, he's saying that us autistic people are issues. Again, he's saying, but nothing like the amount there are now. Again, that's because there's a greater understanding of autism, and that's because people are getting diagnosed, and that's a positive thing. And also, unfortunately, when he was going to school, there probably was autistic people and they didn't know they were autistic. And also, there was, less understanding, and also many autistic people probably didn't even get to go to school. I feel like saying something like this in the Dáil is harmful. I think it's disrespectful. I think that he's clearly not engaging with the autistic community in any way, shape or form and getting any correct information on what he is saying. And I think that, quite frankly, I think these sort of comments are disgusting. I really think they are, and I think that they definitely have no place in the Dáil. I want to move on to somebody else. Again, not going to name names, but this is an Irish boy band member. Pretty sure most people know who I'm talking about. This person is pro-ABA, has been pretty vocal on being pro-ABA, and uses very outdated language, very outdated views, Again, someone that doesn't seem to listen to the autistic community at all, doesn't give us any hearing, doesn't give us a chance to explain why ABA is bad. ABA, for those who don't know, is applied behaviour analysis, and this works from the belief that autistic people need to be changed. So once you hear that, you know this is not going to be good. So this is a tweet that he had. I live and learn from personal experiences. The ideal with autism is a tailored education for the specific needs of each individual child. If that includes ABA and it helps, so be it. ABA was most certainly a big part of my daughter's education in the early years. So first of all, obviously the mention of ABA is really negative. We see that his daughter went through ABA, and that's really sad that she went through this abusive therapy. But I think that it's very irresponsible to be pushing that on other parents, and I feel like it's really sad that he would be putting that idea in other parents' heads. He has to have heard so many people in the community saying how bad this ABA is, and he's clearly not listening. Another thing with him was he recently had a video up and he used language like affected by autism, with autism. So his language is so outdated, it just shows that he is not listening to the autistic community. And when you have someone who has a really big platform, he could be using this in such a positive way. He could really use it in a positive way and really get involved in the community. But he's just not. He's going off this trajectory that ABA is good, and he's not thinking outside of that and thinking maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's a reason why people are saying it's so negative. The last one I want to move on to, and this was pretty recent, and this is to do with ADHD. He's, I suppose you'd say, a public figure, big on social media, a fitness guy, I suppose you'd say. This is what he said in a podcast. I think nowadays it's this common thing that every child seems to be being diagnosed, and I think a lot of it can stem back to diet and the foods we eat. So first of all, a common thing that every child seems to be being diagnosed with ADHD. I'm pretty sure every child is not being diagnosed. Yes, there are more diagnoses, but again, that's a positive thing. If you have a diagnosis, then you can understand yourself and you can find things that are going to help you. This is not a negative thing. But to say that every child is diagnosed with it, that's not true at all. And then a lot of it can stem back to diet and the foods we eat. Of course, it is good to encourage good diet in children and in people. That's not a bad thing. But saying that is linked and can stem back to diet, I think this is insulting to parents, first of all. I mean, parents could be reading this thinking, oh my God, you know, is the diet wrong? We also know that a lot of neurodivergent children can struggle with certain textures or can find foods that they like and they will stick with those foods, whether that be maybe a purely beige diet or have issues with vegetables or whatever it may be. So I feel like it's putting huge pressure on parents to try and look at a diet and get children to eat what they should be eating. I find it baffling that he's saying that every child seems to be being diagnosed, because that doesn't make any sense at all. Children with ADHD are being diagnosed with ADHD. I know that this person had like an apology video up, which I did watch. Honestly, I think the apology video was nearly worse. I don't think he was really properly apologising. I think he was just covering his own arse, essentially, and still pushing what he believed. And I know there was a big reaction from a lot of people in the neurodivergent community. I feel like I probably ranted a bit there with these different people. I felt like it was important to cover it because it's very much clearly something that's being talked about at the moment a lot by people who don't really know anything about it. I think the people that have a big platform could use it very much in a positive way, and that's not what's happening at the moment with some of these people. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Definitely leave your opinions and your views down below. I'd love to hear them. I will leave my social media information down below if you want to follow me over there, and I'll also leave my email address if you want to get in contact. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you again very soon.